I think that U.S. equities are somewhat overvalued right now, and I remain cautious in the middle to longer term as the U.S. market continues to test these historical valuation highs. And it's very possible that we could see a correction looming because there's a geopolitical conflict expected to heat up as we perhaps move closer to the November presidential election.
David, it's Hadley out in Dubai. Quick one for you in terms of your investment strategy as a result of these kinds of things. I mean, when you think about what looks attractive, are we talking Asia and emerging market equities? I mean, where would you put your money right now?
Sure. I think that when you look at which economies are going to rebound from the coronavirus, it makes sense to place your money there. And so certainly places like Greater China and in emerging markets Asia continue to be very attractive. And so we continue to be constructive on Chinese onshore equities and EM Asia risk assets, including equities and credit, as these economies are expected to have a stronger rebound in the second half of this year. Now, what bears watching, though, is the deteriorating U.S.-China relations that may threaten this nation growth across the region, which will put more pressure on central banks to dole out additional monetary and perhaps fiscal stimulus. And I think that also EM Asia equity valuations are compelling, especially when compared to developed markets such as the S&P, which is currently trading at a historical premium. And so it's feasible that increasing geopolitical friction between the world's two largest economies could ultimately send investors fleeing for safe haven assets later down the line.
How short-term do you think is that thinking, though? I mean, at some point, they've got to take a step back and realize that we're coming up on those elections in November. And Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic nominee, essentially, at this point, seems to be gaining traction. Do you think that when we think about those geopolitical tensions with regards to the United States and China and the trade deal, do you think that there is a school of thought already building that we could see a different administration and therefore a different policy coming from the United States in just a few months from now?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and I think what's going on right now in the U.S. with the social movement there, I think that perhaps gives pause for participants to think about who is going to be in the White House this November. But I think that it's still somewhat uncertain in terms of who we can expect. But I would still say that both President Trump and Biden continue to be stating their candidacy as being tough on China.